quick question. Are we set on the name Dude, Where's My Comic? We want to discuss that.
We've already
real
produced
quick?
2 episodes.
Yeah.
on
All right.
there.
Dude, where's my comic?
Dude, where's
Welcome
mine?
back to comics, dudes.
Dude,
Where's mine?
Where are they?
Where's mine, though?
Well, I'll tell you. It's on the internet, because this is one comic I refuse to buy. And know that I have very little understanding of money.
You're
We'll
just
cut-
stringing
nope.
words together.
New exit. New entrance.
It's true. Well,
Cut!
we buy Warhammer figures, so we're not financially the most sound decision makers.
Take that from a guy who just spent $2,000 on the Imperium of Man. An imaginary universe.
I just bought the new resin Nightbody, custom made with big titties.
I'm not going to do that. I don't play with proxies.
Yeah, you don't have to buy it because you have access to 3D printing.
All right, welcome
Do we
to...
introduce ourselves, or what do we do?
Oh, yeah, we could introduce ourselves. I'm Jack.
I'm Wyatt.
I, too, am Jack.
I'm Trip. I'm just a normal guy who didn't invent a rating system.
Yes, finally.
I am Pamela Anderson this week
You're Galactic Cam Anderson.
Yeah, we'll put you right here, actually.
of Tank Girl Star
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
with Pamela Anderson with accurate to gray body hair.
and Baywatch,
And Baywatch.
and I want to be
Designed-
animated as such.
and
will be.
designed by
Hayao Miyazaki.
the guy that did the helmets.
Oh,
He's
Galactic.
Galactam Anderson.
Oh,
Kirby?
Yeah, Kirby.
Jack Kirby.
Jack
He's
Kirby.
the third in our Jack triumvirate.
And this is Dude, Where's My Comic?
Yeah.
I don't know which one we're
I'm
going to take.
also
so.
here.
You didn't.
Oh,
And
sorry.
my name is
Yeah.
Connor.
Condor.
Connor, introduce
I'm
yourself.
the voice in the machine. I'm Connor.
Yeah.
What are you eating? What are you eating today?
He's the
Connor?
ghost in the shell.
I already ate, but I had a Chipotle burrito. It was pretty good.
That rocks.
Also, sponsoring us today, PepsiCo.
Yeah.
Pepsi Cola. Drink it over with a Pepsi Cola.
Is one of their slogans. Drink it up, boys.
That's right,
Another
dude.
one.
Dude,
Yeah.
where's my comic? It's underneath my ice cold Pepsi.
Yeah,
Brought to
there's
you by
no
Pepsi.
their famous slogan. There's no coming here. Famous Pepsi slogan. Don't look in here for cum. There's none in here.
Don't come looking for it.
Don't come looking for it. It's not in here. I'll tell you that much for free.
All right. We've got a new catchphrase in Dude, Where's My Comic? It's called Abide by the Structure.
Yes, I like that.
We've got a structure here. And you know what? This podcast shouldn't be about enjoyment. They should be about understanding the rigidity of a structure. So if at any time you don't understand what section of the podcast you're in, please comment. Let us know.
I'll have timestamps.
We will
We'll
flagellate.
send you a schedule.
We'll flagellate ourselves if we have to.
If we mess this up, it's over for one of us. I don't know which one, but one of us takes the blame.
It's not going to be Pamela Anderson. I'll tell you that.
It might be. You don't know that.
I do.
That's what's scary. It could have been
I
any
worked
of
out the
us.
Pepsi deal. I'm pretty solid.
No, it could be you. It could be you. It could even be you. Anyways, what's the first thing on our docket?
Yeah, we got a real heater today. It's called Cosmic Ghost Rider. Well, it's technically inside of the 2016 to 2018 Thanos run from Donny Cates. It was originally started by Jeff Lemire and then passed over to Donny Cates, who also invented Knoll for any Nolians out there.
Knoll heads.
and then
Where all
he-
my
K or
knoll,
a G?
where are my
Knoll
knoll
with a
heads at?
K, the term null,
Knoll
meaning
heads.
zero.
Where's my canola heads at? Where canola heads rise up? That's all I'm saying. We are a nation that is small but strong, sort of like a Sweden. That's the canola head fandom.
Sweden's
Yeah.
not that small. It's maybe Switzerland.
Population.
Very neutral.
6-1,
Very
right?
neutral.
I think it's kind of like the never nude population. There's a very one-to-one intersection between that.
There are dozens of us.
It's all the if you go into like one of the either never nudes or always are the never nudes the people who are always nude? Is that
No, they're the ones that they have to wear Daisy Dukes underneath everything.
They're
okay.
actually never nude.
Yeah.
that makes more sense?
They're a
now that you've
protected
said it
class
out.
now, actually. So
Oh, they are.
yeah, watch yourself.
And
That's
in
good.
danger.
No, I'm not going to get political.
Just thinking it.
I was-
They should tell the Donald.
Yeah.
One more person to exclude. Never mind.
Anyways, let's see. What's up first on the docket?
First, we're doing our introduction.
Yeah,
and a recap.
That's what I was doing with the old Cosmic. So yeah,
Stick to the structure.
We're sticking to the script today. We've all introduced ourselves. Last week we were talking Hellboy. Pretty good reviews. So we're diving into something hell related.
6 stars.
Hell related
Oh, boy.
in that it sometimes made me feel like I was in the middle of hell.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It
Oh,
was
boy.
a Hieronymus Boschian romp
It was more
through
like
the eons.
one of those guys in the Hieronymus Bosch like paintings. This is what he's making, where it's like just you're like, oh, this is like drivel. Like this,
Yeah.
there's like something sad about the society that has produced this.
We're like the guy on the rack, except for being on a rack, we're just sitting there, and Donnie Cates is reading us what he wrote.
A quick little bit. It's all about. Imagine you guys know Thanos, Infinity War, Endgame.
Hold on.
Yeah, you know the story.
Is
right?
Thanos the guy with the glove or the hat?
Glove.
Glove.
right.
Hat guy's in.
That guy.
Well,
that guy
he-
is in here though.
I guess Thanos also wears a helmet.
It's a helmet, and it's not
Helmet
a hat.
Man. So we've got Glove Man and Helmet
It's
Man
not a-
in this.
They're both so tedious.
He wears a helmet because he likes to scooter
It's a
around.
gauntlet.
Okay.
It's not a glove.
We got Glove Guy and Helmet Man, and you see, this is a comic about what if Thanos won? What if he won the whole thing?
It's
Go
more
on.
of a comic. What if we just stopped having fun?
Yeah.
What if we just hey, the next 6 months of buying comics, we're gonna see if what can we make people not enjoy?
I guess because what I like about this comic is so it opens up obviously with Thanos or a cosmic Ghost Rider who we will get introduced later to coming through a portal and then grabbing like current present day Thanos and like snatching him out of time with the time stone and bringing him to the future where he meets his future self. And future Thanos is just kind of like fucking around for a while.
He's won.
Yeah, he's won and he doesn't really know what to do. So he doesn't really have like a purpose. So he kind of like, you understand why he brought him there afterwards. But for a while, for like 6 months of real time, you would just be sitting there being like, well, I guess they're doing this now in like my Thanos story. So imagine like Grey's Anatomy, but like they send like one of the guys into like the future for like 6 months of like real time. Like that would be like so frustrating if you were like reading a like sequential story and then you were like, no, but like we're going into the future and none of this really matters. Like
I'm getting angry just listening to
That
you
and
explain what I've read.
that probably has happened in Grey's Anatomy.
oh yeah.
There was an episode where a guy had a bomb in his chest and it blew up the hospital.
Oh, it did?
That
How did they
happened.
survive?
A lot of people did it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
A lot of people,
there was
their
famously
contracts
an
were up.
airplane. There was famously an airplane crash episode, right? Where like
Yes.
a bunch of them died in an airplane crash.
Yes.
Yeah, it was called 9/11.
No,
There was the 9/11
to the
episode.
structure.
Now I'm mad again.
They call it that because it's season 9, episode 11. It predates the 9/11 you're thinking
Oh, I
of.
remember that.
It inspired it even.
I will
That
take
tragedy.
over a little bit about. Oh, another note. Old Thanos has abandoned the bald look. For some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
You know, very clearly they were like, how do we let people know that they are different ages? And
Yeah.
they were like, I don't know, well, I guess he has long hair.
I guess time and infinity don't really have a meaning, right?
Yeah.
Like this guy's lived forever, and he's supposed to be like, I can do everything, but he's like, well, I guess I'm also have gray hair and I'm old, you know?
Yeah.
Old
Yeah.
Thanos looked like half of an old lesbian couple.
And that's why he's so mad is that Cosmic Ghost Rider, it's not filling up his end of the bargain. Because the only other person around right now, other than the people who are fighting him, is his liege, Cosmic Ghost Rider, who we learn about the backstory to.
His red
and,
hand,
And
right?
also like a suicidal Hulk that's just, they keep in the basement. Which, honestly, this comic, to me, feels like a comic that is made for like those shitty TikTok like summarization things where it's like you won't believe what happens in the future. It's like he brings Frank Castle, who's also the Ghost Rider, brings Thanos down. He's like, "What is this place?" And he's like, "It's where we keep our chained up Hulk." And everyone's like pogging out over the fact that it's like so cool that Hulk's like chained up by Thanos. But like even in the comic, it feels like an afterthought because everything in this comic does.
You're gonna love this. I'm sorry, but you're gonna love this. I learned about this comic book through a YouTube short. in that exact format.
It's just
It was like Thanos in the future is one, but he's confronted by the cosmic Ghost Rider, Frank Castle.
like every little moment. So we see also that like what the future Thanos does with Frank Castle, the cosmic Ghost Rider, and we'll get into like how he becomes the cosmic Ghost Rider in a bit. But like he takes his like skull and does the penance stare on himself because he's like, isn't it cool that I did all this fucked up shit? And he's like doing it, and that feels like something that like an 8-year-old would write because he's like, he does the penance stare, but he just laughs because he likes it.
Dude, so I was gonna call Trip earlier and talk about how it seems like a kid just that has a bunch of action figures. And he's like, and then what? Well, I have a second.
Actually, he doesn't have a lot. He has like
he has
his mom
two
got him-
Thanoses somehow, and his mom didn't realize.
His mom got him 2 Thanoses, so he grew a beard on one. And then he has
Yeah.
the Silver Surfer, Galactus, and Ghost Rider. And he's like, why is Ghost Rider there? He's like, oh, it's Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
He's like,
And
what are
he-
you
yeah, it's
playing
like-
with today, Donnie? He's like, this one has a Hulk in the basement.
This one, yeah.
And then this is not. It's actually I don't have a Punisher yet, so this one is Ghost Rider. Punisher.
But he's actually the Punisher, too.
and he's colored in his Silver Surfer black because that's all he has.
Well, no, his brother colored it in
Yeah.
black. And he's like, oh, damn it.
Well, I lost.
And the Silver Surfer is his brother's toy. He's like, my toy's better than your toy.
And that's-
they kill him with your toy.
They kill it, and he's like, no, but then the Annihilus waves come, and that's just like a T-Rex sculpture that he has.
I lost my Thor, but I still have the hammer.
I still
Seriously, like, I gave a Silver Surfer a hammer. He seemed pretty cool with a hammer, you know.
No, they brought his dad's hammer. He's like, "Where's my fucking tools?" And he's just like,
He's like,
"No,
I
it's
found-
Thor's hammer."
This is technically a file sword from a Balrog that I had, but he still looks pretty cool. I give it to Thanos. I'll pretend it's Thanos' sword.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the power scaling section of today. There are a lot of implications.
So the Ghost Rider we meet is Frank Castle, and we find out that Thanos basically genocided his entire world. And with his last breath, Frank Castle is like, "I wish I could like do a big vengeance on this world." And Mephisto finds him, and he's like, "Vengeance, you say?" He's like, "You want vengeance on Thanos?" And he's like, "Yeah." And so he basically spends like hundreds of years going insane, going around this world where everyone's dead. And then Galactus shows up, and he's like, "Oh, I guess everyone's dead here." And he's
Oh no,
like,
I was late.
he's like, "Oh
That's
yeah,"
the
and
guy
he's,
with the hat.
yeah, that's the big guy with the hat eating planets. And he has like his stomach cut open, and he's like, "Oh man, like Thanos really did a number on me." And then Cosmic Ghost Rider's like, "If you make me one of your heralds, then like maybe I will like help you defeat Thanos." And he's like, "What's in it for me?" And he's like, "And you can eat this whole world." And then you cut to Galactus with big gun going,
For some reason, he has a
Mark
planet-sized
Galactus
gun.
marching towards Thanos.
I'm serious,
And
this-
Thanos just instantly kills Galactus. And then he's like,
Yeah.
"You want to work for me?" And he's like, "Sure, why not?" So the guy who
He just blasts him, which I didn't know Thanos had, or not. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know Thanos had blast.
he has like
It's his
power
one thing.
pop.
He has a beam.
Yeah, he just no diffs. He no
Yeah.
diffs Galactus.
So like yeah, in regular timeline, the reason why Thanos like doesn't instantly win is because he's like a normal guy. But like in this timeline, for some reason, he's like a guy with like insanely all powerful blasts.
Let
And
me.
so-
This will bring me back to my. This is a good way to interject into what I think is one of my favorite panels. I have a couple. They talk about how he gets stronger, and by that I mean they say that he does. And that's it.
That's enough.
they also say, you know the story.
Yeah.
Thanos is stronger. You know
Thanos'
the story.
story. Yeah, I do hate because there are so many different little vignettes of like, and you know how this goes. It's like the Silver Surfer, one of the greatest origin stories ever told, and it's like it's a lot of telling you how good things are, while not actually like doing any of the legwork to actually explain why something is better.
Yeah. And
I think to like Donny Cates is just to his credit a little bit. You know,
pretty badass.
No, it's cool as hell.
Well, no.
It is a perfect YouTube short.
I wasn't even. It is a great YouTube short. First of all.
Yeah, it compresses into 10 seconds very well.
Oh my god! When I saw the 10 seconds, I was like, "We got to read this." And I got to say, it still has some like cool factors. Like I love the idea of like Hulk chained up, but it's very internally inconsistent. But I was gonna say like, you know, when they do the same thing when they introduce Ghost Rider. They're like, if you're reading this, you know already. And it's like, that's just a useless sentence from a writing standpoint. Because, like, if you're just going to say you already know, why say it?
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
then
you're
we
like-
already know, right? Like, Just skip that.
It's like an early 2000s thing. One like buddy cop would say to his friend, "It's like a don't even say it
Don't even.
type line."
That's he's right behind me. Isn't
He's
he?
behind me.
If we're being honest, the people who are picking up and reading Thanos 13 through 18 probably do know.
Yeah,
Right?
but it's
Like
still
Thanos isn't a good entry point into Marvel.
from a writer's perspective. What you should do is not say that line.
Yeah,
because
leave it blank.
Because then you are like injecting yourself weirdly into the script, where there's a lot of lines where it like feels almost like Donnie Cates is sitting right next to me, like talking to me about this.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah, no, I got it. I got it.
see.
Like,
I
you need
think,
to
you
write
know,
this
He
story.
also drew it. There are drawings here, Donnie.
So,
You know,
He's a good drawer.
I think,
Yes.
I'll defend it a little bit. Not that because I think it's a good line, but because I think it can serve a narrative purpose, which is like, if you're reading a comic glazing how strong Thanos is, like, I bet some people are pogging when they read this. Some people are like, "Oh, Thanos is the sword of suitor." Oh,
Yeah.
that was.
They're
I'm not
reading
gonna
all
lie.
these lines and stuff, and they're like, "This is it's like its own genre of glazed material." This is like the second glazing comic that we've read together, and it was worse than the last one we read.
What was
You
the
know,
last
the
one?
other glazing comic that we read was King in Black before this, and that comic
Well,
was
and the
also written
Doom.
by Donnie Cates.
You
I
know,
was thinking the Doom comic is glazed.
Oh, yeah,
with
that-
Dr.
Oh,
Doom.
No,
yeah,
dude,
the
the
Doom
Doom
comic
comic
was
is
glazed.
actually
That was
good,
just
though.
all glazed.
I like it.
No, but
That was a
it's
fucking
spelt
frosted donut of a comic book.
that's
Yeah.
one issue.
Yeah, it's felt enough that you're like, you know what, this is a Doom glazing issue, and if you want that, you can pick that up. That's what
100%.
And,
that's
like,
what it's
this is
advertised.
Six
And
issues.
the Doom comic serves a purpose. This is just like, yeah, like Thanos. What if Thanos wins? Like, it doesn't.
Well,
it doesn't add anything
I
to
would
the
be
character
mad.
of
Like,
Thanos.
I'd feel unsatisfied.
Like, there's no different ending for Thanos. We don't learn anything new about him in this comic.
He's got
I'll,
great hair.
I think I learned a lot of new things about him. Like, he can't die.
I also
He's
learned.
literally immortal.
Yeah, I also learned that his parents were like not fucked up Titans. They were like humanoid looking, and then he
Yeah, he's
came
not
out.
just
I
horrible.
thought that was kind of cool.
That is
Yeah.
one of my favorite parts.
It's like
is
an Asian mom.
yeah.
he just
and,
got like bullied. It's
and
like
he comes out, and she like knows he's Thanos,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Looks
She was like, Thanos!
gas eyes.
Yeah, so I will say, and this is a small diatribe that I want to go into because I've had this thought a lot about Thanos. Like, so Thanos in the movie sucks so much balls because his motivation is like, oh, like I want to like equalize the world, and he has like this rational like, okay, you could like talk Thanos out of that because it's rational, it like makes sense, but
consider the inverse. Just
Yeah.
double the food.
well, he's like, oh, I didn't think about that, and so like
Or
it's
the
one of
size
those
of the
things where
universe.
he comes off as like really stupid
Like,
because
he hasn't considered his plan.
yeah, exactly. And so you're just like, this guy's just like a stupid villain in a way to try to make him more relatable. They've made him more stupid, but I find like this Thanos infinitely more relatable because his goal is like to literally have sex with the embodiment of the thing that has killed every single being in the universe. Like that is like the idea. He's like, you know, that thing that has like plagued all of life for as long as it has existed. I want to manifest it and I want to fuck it. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a lot. That's
All right.
that's whoa. But like, you know what? More
Maybe
power
you
to
need
you.
your future self to help.
Yeah, they're like, oh no, he's like, oh, I want to like have sex with death. It also makes more sense for like a mad titan to be like, no, I want to fuck death, and you're like, oh, and he might actually do it.
I've
like that's
had-
way more interesting.
I had a very similar thought, and I think that works for like when Infinity War came out. They're like, "Holy shit, guys trying to bang death!"
Yeah.
and it wraps up within I don't know a year, and like a year's worth of comic book time happens, and then it's over. It becomes so much more lame when someone spends eons trying to bang death.
Yeah, well, no, that's also what makes
You know, you're
Thanos
like, wow.
interesting as like a character is that like you can see like pathetic loser simps in it.
Yeah.
And so you're like, because like, and like the practical totalitarian Thanos where he's like, and then everyone's like, turns out his plans actually worked. Like, wow,
Yeah.
his plan, and it's like, it's stupid because then you're like, oh, like I can't, this isn't like a villain. It's like a dumb guy thinks what a smart villain is. And then like when you see Thanos, you're like, oh, this guy is like, he is like a loser simp, and I know a lot of guys like that. He is like that. He's like that. Like he's super powerful, but he is that turned up to 11, which is like the loser simp for death. And so like all of his
Seriously,
actions make sense when you contextualize them through like the guy who like shows up to a chick's place at like 2 a.m. who's like 40 miles away, and he's like, yeah, I just thought I was gonna get some tail, and that's why he's like, I don't know, kill all the universe, like maybe that'll get her to call me back.
The amount of guys I know who have just shown up to hotel rooms
exactly where they're
because
like,
they thought they were going to get laid.
yeah,
Just random hotel room.
oh yeah,
What?
no,
Trip Scott did that.
I did.
Yeah, wasn't that how you lost one of your kidneys?
Yeah.
Never mind.
no, that's how we got one.
No, that was
No,
his
that's-
virginity.
That you're getting it mixed up. That's how I got my rib taken out, which I wanted to do.
Yeah,
That's how he
To make
gained.
another-
this rib.
Yeah,
We're glad
like,
they took it.
but
Yeah.
like it is
it
one
has
of those.
a lot of flexibility. If
Now-
you know
now
what
I
I'm
can-
saying.
That's
Super
oh no, go
bendy.
for it.
I was gonna say, to your point, like again in the movies, they're like, well, Thanos creates paradise. There's the arguing with him. If you heard Thanos like, yeah, I want to fuck death, at
Yeah,
least
like-
you're like, well, there's no arguing with that.
Yeah,
We just
there's
got to
no-
stop you at all costs.
I cannot talk him out of this.
That makes the fighting make way more sense because instead of Doctor Strange being like, no, let's try to like argue you down, you're like, that guy wants to fuck death. He has the all powerful Infinity Gauntlet. We got to take him down. And so that's the fights make like feel a lot more desperate because you're not like, oh, but maybe he's right. You're like, no,
Whoa.
this guy's got to go.
He's wrong. He's really wrong.
wrong, and
like-
he's not going to stop.
And like, I think that just makes a way more compelling villain because he's like a force of nature in that sense. But he's like, you have to make Thanos stupid in order to make him like work in those movies because he has to be like the dumbest guy in the room who's like, oh wait, maybe this idea is pretty dumb.
Bang death.
Maybe, yeah, but like if he's like, I want to bang death, you're also kind of like, fuck, that's kind of cool. All
right.
Like as bad as it sounds, you're like, that's a hell of a
Well, let's
fucking
see if he
goal,
can
dude.
do it, you
Let's
know?
see if he can do it.
At least it's like, like you said, it's the goal you'd imagine for a Mad Titan.
Yeah.
It's like
It's Grecian.
it is.
Yeah.
It's very Grecian. It's fucking It's crazy. It's absurd. It's what you'd imagine.
Just might work.
I don't want to be this guy, but the death from DC, the goth death
So
girl,
much cooler.
She's
Yeah.
pretty hot too.
This death
It's
kind of
funny that
sucks.
it's that comic writers both were like, what if death was just hot?
With like a hot guy.
Wait,
Yeah,
Neil
well, I was gonna say, Death is like canonically just a sexy lady.
yeah, in both
the Marvel
Yeah.
and DC.
But-
all comics.
and we see her in this comic because we find out that the reason that Thanos brought his own self back is because no one's powerful enough to beat him. So he has to bring his younger self back to beat him because he needs him to beat him. And before that, we find out that Silver Surfer comes in and tries to beat him with the Annihilation Wave.
Whoa.
But then in one big fart, Cosmic Ghost Rider gets rid of all of the Annihilation Wave.
Yeah, and then Hulk punches Silver Surfer, and his hand just shatters around.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
that's the second punch. The first time Hulk punches him, surprise, it worked.
Yeah,
The
it's
second,
wild.
the second
I think
time, his
that,
fist just
that's a cool
splits around him.
well, and that brings me to my favorite panel, which is the Silver Surfer, and he's like, "What took you so long?" And he's like, "I had to become worthy." And he has Thor's hammer in his hand. And I will say this about Donny Cates: we've read King in Black, which is all hype, no thought. And like this feels like he does build up those moments where it's like things you've seen, shiny keys. He jangles them so well.
He does jangle.
It's
Yeah,
like
he does.
Like some people,
How
they
many more times do we have to see people with Thor's hammer?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, can we just leave Thor's hammer alone?
Right.
It's also like
And hot take, I hate those moments in comics.
I absolutely
I think they're
hate
so
them.
lazy.
The first
But they're
time I
fun.
thought, I was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that shows something."
but like
Captain
okay,
coming back, Avengers
Yeah.
assemble.
Here's
That's
the thing
They're,
on a
like, they're so
YouTube.
lazy to me. Like they're just hype train moments, you know. And I'm
The
like,
first time it
and that's
happened, it was
cool. That's cool.
The
But then it's like, I don't know.
I'm,
It's
I thought it
not
was-
for me.
The YouTube shortification, though, like
It's
if I
perfect for
saw
that.
Yeah,
Silver Surfer holding the hammer, I would click on that YouTube short.
would
Like that's
too.
how I view that, and it's like that's the entire purpose.
The fucked up thing about it, though, is that he reuses it. It's not even the only time Silver Surfer gets Thor's hammer.
yeah,
He gets it in the other thing Donny Cates writes.
Yeah, well, no, Venom gets it. Venom steals Thor's hammer and also his surfboard.
But he also gets a silver surfboard.
Yeah, and the surfboard.
He gets silver surfboard, so it's not the exact same thing.
No, it's cooler actually.
Yeah, it's even pretty
Actually,
cooler.
it's way cooler.
It's probably even like way stronger too.
Oh, for sure.
You know, all right, to give Donny Cates a little more credit, I think one thing that's kind of important for this is understanding this comic in the context of the movies. And I think, like, Donny Cates probably got instructed, like, hey, Thanos is about to, like, we've been building up Thanos since Avengers 1, you know? Like, and he's about to go on screen, because this started in 2016. Infinity War Part 1, I think, is 2018, which is the end of this run. So this comic is, like, it's not designed to be like a cool, good thing. It's literally designed to be Thanos glaze. And for someone who actually kind of likes Thanos glaze, it does that pretty well, I gotta say.
And like the rest of this, the Cosmic Ghost Rider stuff that comes after this is much more fun because it leans into the silliness and is like, yeah, you know, it is kind of silly to have Cosmic Ghost Rider traveling through time trying to do whatever he's doing with Thanos. There's a panel that I really like because I read the wrong thing at first, viewer.
Which has never happened before.
Which has never, ever happened before.
Trip is always very good about reading the right thing without Amadeus Cho.
Exactly.
Doing
visual calculus.
Doing calculus to
The
figure
seventh
out.
smartest man in the world.
And
We read World War Hulk one time, and then Trip read like the sides.
Like the appendices.
Yeah,
or
the
something.
appendices where it has Amadeus Cho fucking around and he's about to get shot by a guy and he has parabolas going outside of it. He has a bunch of math and he's like, I can dodge this because I'm the seventh smartest man.
I remember showing up to the club that week and being like, man, I wish there was more Hulk. And everyone's like, what are you talking about?
It was all Hulk.
Hulk is in everything. I was
like
like, what about Amadeus Cho? And you're like, who the fuck is that guy? I was like, he's the ninth smartest man in the world.
You're
I read that too in
Seven.
a cafe.
Dude, the thing is, your confidence in yourself is the astounding thing to me. That you were like, this title, World War Hulk, can I be reading the wrong thing?
No.
And you were like, there's no way.
That's no way. This is
Also, just like
reading the wrong thing.
the build up to like, and we were all saying because we read like what's it called, the World of Hulk,
Planet Hulk.
Planet
We
Hulk
read
first.
Planet Hulk,
And
which
was
rocks.
pretty good.
which is
awesome.
great, and like it's
That
very
was
funny
a good
because
comic.
it immediately we were like, oh, and this bleeds into this one, and then you just read some bullshit.
Yeah, and I show
read
up
a
and like
one-off
Lee
free
Sampson,
comic
the
day.
green-haired guy, like
Yeah.
the scientist green hair. I was like, why is he in it? You guys were like,
therapist.
yeah, Hulk's therapist is in it, and I was like, what? He's in it a lot, and they're like, no, what?
No,
The-
what are you
talking
talking
about? He's not in it at all.
See, I think Planet Hulk is glazing done right.
I
You know, we
completely
get a bunch
agree. Yeah, I
of
agree.
comics. We get Hulk is just the main guy. He's better than everyone else. It's great.
And the thing is, they like take the things that are like fun about Hulk, and it's like, all right, he smashes and
He does
he's strong,
smash. And
and
gotta
that's
give him
pretty
that.
sweet.
He does
And
smash.
Hulk gets like a genuine heartfelt moment at the end where it's like, oh no, like Hulk actually likes this person who embraces both parts of him.
Yeah,
And then
it's-
she fucking blows up and my heart breaks. Like
Yeah.
that hurts to read.
This is like, what's the cool thing about Thanos? That
Well,
is
he's
like,
infinitely strong.
He's infinitely no one can beat him but himself.
He's a
Well, I
bad
wanna-
titan.
and like when we talk about
Hey, he's the personification of winning, like Donald Trump.
so
when we talk about like Death coming in, my favorite panel is the very last panel of the comic, and it's just Death holding a black rose with a black background. I like it because it's simple, and I like it because the guy didn't have to write any words to go with it.
it
I'm gonna
almost
be really
seems like
honest.
he didn't even think it.
He-
It seems
yeah.
like the artist was like, all right, I'm going to do this stuff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna draw something that looks pretty.
it's like
Johnny
Half
was
Death
like-
picking up Thor's hammer. And then he went over and then he's like, actually, I'm gonna make like a poetic ending to this whole thing.
What if
Yeah.
all that black on Death was some sort of symbiote? And we
Yeah.
find that it's symbiotes.
Who's dead? What if you
Come
thought
here,
about like
it's
Death getting
Venom
like
dead.
venomized, and you're like, oh no, like that's gonna be bad.
Oh no, it's
And
Null
then she
again.
says, wait until you guys meet my brother.
No.
No.
My
And then the end is just Thanos wins? Question mark.
my favorite panel, it's got to be from the second or issue or the end of the first when Thanos. It's like a multi-panel, and like the top is like Thanos v Warlock, but the whole panel is just like Thanos jabbing everyone on Earth.
Yeah, let me comics. I selected my favorite line. That's my favorite line is from that panel.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
I think you're talking about.
There's a structure, Jack. You can't break the structure. We've
I've
been
already
so in
broken
line
it.
so
I've
far.
beaten the structure into the ground.
I like how fat he is in some of this.
Oh yeah, no, I like how
Chubby.
old Thanos is like
Like he's a
overweight.
dude with a belly.
Yeah,
Chubby.
But my favorite line was from this Wyatt's favorite panel or page. It's like, as he grew, Thanos began to alter and experiment on his deviant biology, and you're like, what?
yeah.
Well, I didn't know he could do that. Increasing his strength. You're like, fair enough. His intellect. You're like, makes sense, kind of.
Okay.
And his cruelty. You guys like the image of him being like,
I'm not cruel enough.
right? Being like, got a 19 strength, that's pretty good. Intellect is 19. He's like, 7 cruelty.
Gotta up
This
those
won't do.
Not even average.
I got it. He just starts kicking dogs.
That's why it's been so hard to kill everyone.
That's right next to my favorite panel. Just a couple pages past, Thanos, which is also has my favorite line, that he like kills Blackagus Boltagon.
Oh, yeah.
And he like nukes the Earth and kills the big guy. Are those the Celestials?
Those are the Celestials. Arnim Zola. No, not Arnim.
And they're like,
Arishem.
it's a pretty sick panel where they're like getting blown off the Earth and they're like the size of the Earth at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it, but it's an awesome
I
panel.
also was like, is that all it took? I didn't
Yeah.
realize Black Bolt was that strong.
Big blast. And well,
that
didn't he do
powerful?
big bungus blast
he the
towards
guy that
them?
can
He
sing?
big bungus blasted him.
Big bungus blast.
That's the Blackagus
Everyone. This
Boltagon
entire.
bungus blast.
Yeah, he did.
And that is
He did
and if
normal.
we're going
bunk.
with the favorite lines too, that's where my favorite line is. It's like the Phoenix burns, Galactus devours, blah blah. Thanos lives, Thanos denies. It's just like Thanos wins. You just can't stop winning.
And I was like,
was cool.
he's the Trump of
He's
this
the
universe.
embodiment of winning.
I think it would be awesome if, like, instead of having the RSM getting blown back, you had Thanos getting an 8-leg parlay completely correct. Thanos wins, and then it's an ad for DraftKings.
MGM Grand.
That would be
They're also a sponsor.
Oh
Would be
yeah.
sweet.
Make sure to put in a parlay.
Do put all your money on parlays. They don't lose, and if you win big.
Yeah, we got a deal. You put down the bet. LeBron James, is he going to score 2 points? Probably. That's
then-
our freebie for your 6-leg parlay.
That's
I
parlay.
6-leg parlay. They always hit if you know what you're doing, and I do.
am inevitable.
My
He's looking at
he's looking at the parlay.
On his phone, like,
It's like a big negative number, like big and red at the bottom.
You know that one DraftKings
Instead
ad
of
that's
debt,
like
it's just debt.
Well, I just love the idea that like he's about to lose and he just snaps and like uses the reality stone to like change the outcome of the game.
Reality Stone doesn't even work, and he just gets like banned off of BetMGM.
In his account.
He then has to use the time stone to go back.
They're like,
Oh, don't put that much money into the parlay.
the watcher is like the running MGM Grand. He's like, there's a disturbance in reality. Your account has been banned.
You just said that his whole thing. I love the gambling Thanos, and that his main goal is to outwit debt. Like that's awesome.
Dead arrives for everybody.
And then he's like, "There's one man who'll stand up to
Credit,
debt."
no, but it's Thanos who's gay because Debt is like a slovenly big Italian guy.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
the same thing. He's just Tony Soprano.
Yeah, Debt's just like an uglier Tony Soprano.
Hey, Thanos, we're here to collect.
Well, you had to collect your debt.
Same color scheme as Death, just
Yeah.
like,
It's like the-
gray and black hair.
It's like that scene.
One-eyed. He's trying to outsmart depth.
It's like the
Yeah, and then
it's
like Deb grabs for him and tries to kill him, but he misses because he's
there's a scene from the movie Casino where they take a guy in the back and they break his hands. It's like that, but they're just smashing the gauntlet.
They're
Yeah.
just breaking the Infinity Stones.
Yeah. My favorite line, it comes from when he's fighting Thanos. And the line is, "In rage for the sadness and despair they will never speak." I just like that. I think it's
It's almost like Donny Cates didn't write it.
I
that-
don't think it's like
I think
kinda-
Donny
it's
Cates
like sort of
can
poetic.
be poetic when he wants to,
Sure.
but the problem is his prose always go with like the dumbest things that are going on. Like
Yeah.
he's read things where like they have like a poetic prose that go with it, but the
Yeah.
only thing that I see when I see that is just like oh, he's like doing these like poetic gestures towards
This
something.
is serious.
This is like
Big bungus blast with Thanos' arms.
this is like Instagram poetry. It
Seriously,
sounds
yeah.
good because it's really short, and you
can
don't
eat
ha-
it
you don't
quickly.
you can eat it
Yeah.
quickly, and it's not that complicated. It's
Yeah.
like sometimes sadness comes out as anger. It's like that is true.
Wow,
A lot of Donny Cates does kind of feel like that one image of like the guy throwing hatchets and the guy blocking them for his girlfriend. That's how like Donny Cates comes off. But like when you see that initially, that immediate like if you were to like put like a word association with like, all right, you have 3 seconds, you'd be like sad, and like that's how Donny Cates feels, and that's why his thing is perfect for like TikTok
and Instagram.
like, and like honestly, I hope that he never stops writing because he writes the perfect like get you into comics through this guy is doing this, and then you're like, okay, what else is there?
You read like I hear. Oh, I shouldn't. I was my old time. I would have said like you hear Neil Gaiman's pretty good, and then I was like, oh, I don't
Yeah,
want to.
guys,
Well, you know
not-
what?
I gotta
As-
say, guy.
as much as art,
And he's a good writer.
Well, no,
Separate the art from the artist.
but it's like
right?
it sucks because he's like such a good writer, and you're like,
Oh.
why'd you have to do that? I will say, like,
the craziest thing is like his wife was helping him.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
like setting him up
She was
with
complicit.
people to abuse.
Are you saying it's her fault?
No, I'm
More than
I'm saying that
complicit. She was
she was
I mean,
actively
she was
involved.
also bad.
yeah.
it's well, I mean, like,
I mean, that is what complicit means, but go on.
I thought complicit was like you allowed
If
it to
shoot
happen
someone,
and
you're
didn't
not
stop it.
complicit in their murder. You shot them.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
If two people shoot someone with 2 guns,
that's like
one of
Ghislaine
them is not
Maxwell.
Well, like,
complicit. Both of
she's
them
and
are
they're
both
complicit.
complicit
she's
in each other's murder.
she's an accomplice.
That's what I
she
mean.
is aiding him in.
I think
the
more
crime.
than being complicit,
I think
she's like
she's
a
more than that.
perpetrator.
I agree.
Yeah, right.
I think
I
it's
think
biggest
she's
thing
also
she
a
was
perpetrator
doing
in the
was
violence.
abetting him.
She's
I think it's a
abetting
Draft kick.
Oh, betting! and then Death
dating.
shows up. He's like, "Hey, Thanos,
I-
betting."
I
All
will
in.
say, I think
double
it's remarkably
D,
sexist.
no,
of you
abetting
guys.
2 D's.
Betting like she's banging it. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
she-
what
mine was
Thanos
better.
wants to do.
DraftKings doesn't pay us to make
It
gross
could be both
puns.
betting and betting.
We're talking over
That's
each other.
we're in betting with.
Where
I
are
will
we in the
say,
structure, guys? Where are we in the
We're the
structure?
structure.
We're-
guy.
We're in the
Open up the
favorite.
structure. I
haven't
favorite
shared
panel,
my
favorite
favorite
quote.
Yeah, we got
there, so I
we got to
can't.
hear.
I got to share my favorite scene.
Yeah.
So I read this illegally online
as we all
legally.
did.
So did I.
PepsiCo
As
sponsored
Pam-
legally.
as Pam Anderson does,
Yeah,
because
she doesn't follow the rules.
fucking tank girl right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Apocalypse, you don't have the time.
and it was on an Italian website, and every time,
La Comicia.
Oh,
every time Pam Anderson clicked her finger on any place, it opened anime porn site.
I was
that's also what
It's
happened.
funny
true.
that happened to Pam Anderson because that's what was happening to Tripp when he was looking for
That's-
his favorite line.
That's what happens.
I swear I
every
wasn't-
time
I
I
wasn't-
load any comic on that site. Hypothetically,
I wasn't-
Frankly, that was the best thing that
I was like, well, if I click the next page, at least I'll get some pornography.
At least
Pam
I'll get some
Anderson
anime
brought
porn.
out of this particular comic.
Those ones are always really funny because they're like also have the chat open where it's like this person wants to fuck you right now, and I'm just
Single
imagine
mom.
because all they know about you right now is that you're reading like Thanos number 17, and they're just like, this person's so horny for the person who's reading Thanos number 17 where he does big bungus blast on Silver Surfer.
Right, and then
It was
you're
also
reading-
launching Pam Anderson's App Store, which was
Oh
frightening.
no! The worst is when they're like, "Don't you want to download Temu?" And I'm like, "I don't want to download Temu. I don't know what you did.
How is this more scary than the other stuff?
This is so much scarier than you just opening another web page. I know you can do that."
There's a line that I loved when I just
Well,
like,
what was your favorite line?
was the point?
The final line when I was done with this comic.
That
was
sounds
like,
like, a
oh,
dad.
okay, that was pretty good.
That sounds like a dad walking out of Shark Tale. Where it's just like, it's like, oh man, what was your favorite part? Oh, when it ended. That's
My favorite line was how we knew that Cosmic Ghost Rider was insane because they told us a few times.
They're like, look, he's crazy.
In a word, he's insane.
Wait,
and
did
then,
you-
and then later on, Cosmic Ghost Rider's like, yeah, I'm insane.
Is no one going to talk about how lame Cosmic Ghost
Dude,
Rider
right.
was?
You know,
Yeah,
All right,
good
let me-
job
let me-
immediately.
I got to say something. One thing that really bugged me, and I know comic logic is rough a lot of times, but he's able to time stop and then bind Thanos with the fucking bones of Cyttorak. And then when it comes to fucking Silver Surfer, he just gets boom dead.
Yeah.
Right? Like you are able to bind the guy that can
Kill
wreck
this other
Silver
guy.
Surfer. And you're able to do it by, using the fucking using one of the Infinity Stones. But then when it comes to Silver Surfer, who gets jobbed, you're just like, it's like he wanted to die.
Dude.
And he does go to Asgard, so maybe he did want to die.
That's the thing that's frustrating. One of the
Yeah,
things that's
him going
frustrating.
that comic
Yeah.
is pretty fun, actually.
I like how the way Frank Castle became Ghost Rider is he just asked for it.
Well, no, it was
He
like
was like, if
Mephisto.
only
Like,
I could become vengeance.
if only I could do the Ghost Rider thing. And then Mephisto's like, well, everyone else is dead.
And he
so,
gave
like,
him the laziest monkey paw ever. Like it
really
was
was,
like,
yeah.
what if you could become? You want your vengeance? And then like he was like, all right, where is everyone? And Mephisto was like, I don't know, I couldn't. I guess everyone's dead. That's,
it's so funny how he
The
just
reason I wanted to read this was for Cosmic Ghost Rider. He fucking blows, dude. Like, what is he even
So
in the story
lame.
for? Like,
His
what
motorcycle
reason is he
makes
in this
noise in
story for?
space.
What purpose does he serve? He
it
doesn't
was-
serve any purpose.
it was pretty
You could delete him from the story and it would be fine.
That
It was-
my favorite
yeah.
line.
Dude,
He could be out of the story.
It was pretty sweet, though, when Frank Castle turned into Ghost Rider and his bike had a minigun on it.
yeah.
That was pretty cool.
The sound in
You should
space
shut
is
up.
sick.
Gun, cool.
But
I agree.
gun,
The
gun
sound in
is
space was fun.
But like all of Cosmic Ghost Rider is cool. Like having Hulk chained up in your basement and wanting to die because you're so powerful.
That was my favorite panel.
It's all
Not my favorite
because
line.
that was me during this. It was
I was
me
like, I
chained
get
in
it.
the basement of comics.
Kill Hulk.
Kill Jack. Kill Jack.
I also like how like he's just like kill Hulk.
Oh
Yeah, it's like a
so-
legitimate question.
My
He's
favorite
like,
line-
like he's asked this a lot.
Yeah,
No, I
well,
like-
my
yeah,
favorite
I like that
line
part.
was the picking up Mjolnir thing. My favorite panel was like the weird like. Because like when Silver Surfer gets stabbed, he has like this face of like dull surprise.
Yeah, and
like he
and the
dropped
Hulk-
a piece of toast.
And Hulk is getting stabbed behind him.
Yeah, where
Like
he's like
shish kebab.
he goes like what, and he has like this face of like when you like accidentally like pour out your drink on the counter, you're like ooh
Yeah,
no.
dude, that was the stupidest part. It was they were
Have we all done favorite panel, favorite line?
Yeah, I guess my favorite line, I had a shitty joke about Antonio Gramsci, but it's not really worth it.
No, I'd like to hear it. Now.
Oh, please.
All right.
maybe
You're-
us who Antonio Gramsci.
I mean,
Wyatt,
Gramsci?
you pulled the thing that's like, I've got something kind of bad to say, but I'm not going to say it.
Okay, Antonio Gramsci is a
don't
Italian
explain
left.
Less context. You know the story.
All right, he's
Antonio Gramsci.
Antonio
You all know this story.
Antonio Gramsci. You all should know by now, libertarian socialist.
I'm not hearing any hilarious jokes.
I told you it wasn't funny. So he has this quote that says, Antonio Gramsci has this quote that says, "The old world is dying and the new world struggles to be born. Now is the time of monsters." And in this, he says, "And so on the ruins of the world before, Thanos birthed a new one in its stead, from an ending, a new beginning," which I felt was a little Gramscian in its characteristics. You know,
Do you think Donnie Cates would
Great
agree with
literary
you?
analysis.
I would say that Donny
I've heard
Cates,
him talk. He's referenced Gramsci in his interviews.
Silly.
I mean, I can tell by writing it that he's familiar with the word.
What are
It's
your
Gramsci, yeah.
what are your inspirations? Power Rangers and Gramsci.
Antonio,
And he's like, you guys all know Antonio Gramsci,
Yeah.
so he's a big
and
inspiration.
you're familiar with the corporatist works of the Italian Communist Party founder Bordiga, right?
The nihilist?
So now,
Let me do my favorite line. I give my favorite panel and my favorite line. Maybe I give both. I have a lot of them. And I'm gonna go through.
You get one.
Well,
You get
I'll
three.
say
He's already-
them in
he's
my
already
head.
done
You
one.
can't stop me saying,
At least
saying them in my head. They say his mother. First off, who's they? His mother. He tried like to make her an Asian insane alien name, which was Sui Sun.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, you can just see him sitting there and be like, Susan.
Susan. Oh shit, she's like Asian.
Sui-san. That's a good alien name, right?
That's. I feel like there was like an Asian woman who was cast as Thanos' mother in Infinity
exactly
War.
what
they
happened.
did
Who
the
got-
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah,
name.
who got like John Jones.
Jayon.
But like that's what it feels like. Where there was like they were like, oh yeah, we casted this woman as Thanos' mother, and she's like Asian, and so they like didn't have a name for her, and then like she didn't end up making the final cut in Infinity War. But
Why
he
was
knew-
she Asian? I don't.
She was
not
she was
trying to
like
be a racist
from
about-
like Titan though, right? Where she was
Oh,
on
from
like
Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
One of the secret race of super
yeah,
warriors.
she was from Shingeki no Kyojin. She was also one of the people who was inherently better because of their genes.
All right, let me-
like Mikasa and Levi, where
Let
they're like
me-
we're Asian, so we're better at all of this.
Levi's my goat, by the way.
Let me finish this line.
You're having fun slaughtering
She
my comrades.
went insane the moment she laid her eyes on him, which is because he's weird because he's just a baby.
Ugly one though.
She's a pretty ugly baby.
Well, put yourself in her
and
shoes.
she just, yeah, right, you give birth to a weird baby, you have problems. You
purple,
go insane.
a giant purple wrinkly baby.
She
She's
must
just
have
like,
looked like the father, or that
Thanos?
Thanos must have resembled the dad
Cool.
because he was not Korean at all.
or like maybe she went insane. She's like, he looks so much like the mailman. Oh no!
Whoa.
Father,
I like that you can hear, I'm serious. He was like on this motorcycle. He was like, this was the motorcycle is so loud that you can't even hear it in space. That's
I like that too.
No one can hear
I
you
thought that was
scream in
kind of cool.
space.
I mean, it's
but they
stupid,
can
but
hear your hog.
Yeah,
Can you imagine how
cranking my hog in space.
in space. There's my Bose speakers.
how irritating he must be to every planet. They were like, I didn't think you could make
Well,
noise up
everyone's
there.
dead. Thank you.
And he's just like,
That's true.
He's like, somebody's got to be able to hear this.
Yeah, you're right. It's like there aren't people on Earth to annoy, so I have to annoy the entire universe.
You know that he like if there was like a single planet with life on it, he would drive by that planet like 8 or 9 times, like really
Yeah,
revving his
at
engine.
7 a.m.
Yeah, oh yeah, and there. Well,
On
no,
a
no,
Saturday,
it would be at
on
like
Space
2,
Saturday.
It would be 2 a.m. It would be 2 a.m.
be
on
both.
Space Saturday, and it's like no, it would be at 2 a.m. on Space Tuesday, and he'd be like, "We all have to get up collectively as a planet in a couple of hours." Like, come on,
We have to go to the mines soon.
you're fucking up our dogs. They're all barking at you now. Our space dogs.
Space dogs, yeah.
With
These
3
dilithium
eyes.
crystals won't mind themselves.
The Glog-Glors won't glomcon by themselves.
Also, he was such a wussy.
You're talking about Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider.
Well,
Yeah,
this
I
is-
got
I thought it
one-shotted.
was
This is a good.
Spider-Man.
This is a good way
But
to segue.
I mean, just everything he said, he was like, "Well, I don't know.
It's
I
like he
used
thought
to be
he-
a badass, but now I'm kind of fun."
The idea
like
that
he-
he's Frank Castle is almost like offensive to Frank.
It's
thought it
like
was
he,
Spider-Man.
He wrote it for Peter Parker or
Yeah.
Daredevil or Deadpool.
Yeah.
And like they were like, yeah, we guess
We're
Punisher
using
sales
Deadpool.
are a little bit down, so we got to put this Frank Castle. Now.
Yeah.
Just switch
You
out
know
the
what I
name
bet
Peter.
it was?
Yeah,
I
cuddly
bet it
Frank
was he
Castle.
had an idea. He had an idea for the panel where the Ghost Rider thing has a minigun on it. And he was like, Frank Castle.
Badass. He's like Frank Castle.
Yeah, Frank Castle gun. But this is a good time to begin talking about power scaling. And I have a question. Is there a stealth damage multiplier? Because it seems like when the Hulk snuck up on Silver Surfer, he punched him real good. So is there like a sneak attack bonus in
In what
universe?
is the Hulk stealthy?
I don't.
Well, he's underground.
That is true. It's hard to see a man who's underground.
But I'm saying, like, is this like Skyrim and Thanos is in his sneak attack tree and he's got like the double damage.
16x.
Yeah, like
Hulk
6
is
times damage.
This is when it's like you're arguing with your brother who has an action figure, and he says, "My guy's stronger because I can do this," and then he says, "No, actually, my guy's stronger because there's 2 Thanos, and they can hold down the arm, and then they cut." And he says, "No, but then that's not that strong because my guy's stronger."
And then
I have Surtur. I have Surtur.
I have
Gives
Surtur's
plus 2
sword, which is
power,
stronger.
and
And
Thanos is 10
going
power. So
moving from the established sneak attack multiplier, does that mean the fight with Silver Surfer? It's no diff right now, obviously, right?
Obviously.
If there's no sneak attack, does this fight move up to low or even potentially mid diff?
I think
No.
it's mid diff. I think it's
You-
mid diff
you-
more.
did you not get the
but he also
comic?
did come in with the Annihilation Wave. But also, Cosmic Ghost Rider did Big Fart and completely got rid of the
didn't
Annihilation
get it.
Wave.
but Cosmic
Ghost Rider got
one shot.
Thanos doesn't lose.
Well,
Ever.
That's not what mid diff means.
It's low diff always.
but it's
Didn't
no,
you read what he said?
But does it go from no
Guys,
diff
what
to
is the
low diff?
Annihilation Wave?
The Annihilation Wave is an infinite amount of bugs that's living in this one place called like the negative zone, and basically there's this guy called Annihilus, and he has a bunch of bugs that are just constantly there. And the Annihilation Wave is he opens a portal and just a bunch of bugs pour out. And there's basically infinite bugs. So until you close that portal, there's going to be infinite bugs kind of trying to kill you.
They really slacked with Fantastic
But
Four
there were
villains.
there were only like 50 bugs.
Oh, there was an infinite.
No,
There
there
were
was
more, but-
infinite bugs. He just
But Ghost Rider killed them all.
yeah, he did
Yeah.
big fart, and
Why
then
didn't
they
it
killed
fill
all
the universe if it was an infinite amount of bugs?
Well, it doesn't all come in, small portal. It's got to take some time.
You know
It's
what?
one of
Yeah.
those
Man's
small
mind is
ones.
limited, Gray. We can't comprehend
that.
limitless.
Yeah, I see one man's limited mind.
There's
and
an
what
effect-
it can create.
There's an infinity between the numbers 1 and 2, right? Could be one of those tiny infinities.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and also like Thanos is infinitely powerful, so therefore like his infinity is way bigger than like
What
the,
about Infinity with the Milner?
You know what's funny is you joke,
Shit.
we joke, but I unironically think that's the logic of the power scaling here. It's like
There is no
you have like, well, you got infinite Annihilus with infinite Mjolnir, and it's like, well, it doesn't beat. You got to forget it. You got to remember Thanos has 6 Infinity Stones,
And also-
there are 2
6
Thanoses, so that's
This
12
is-
Infinity Stones.
This is like the kid on the playground who's like, my strength is infinity, and he's like, well, mine's infinity plus 1.
Yeah.
seriously.
And
Mine's
Why didn't
always
you just
one
get
more than
all
what
of
yours
the
is gonna be.
Thanoses across all of the
Or you just
Yeah.
go kill the first person.
Well, like I think it kind of felt like Silver Surfer was like an afterthought, where he was like, "Oh shit, that's coming on Tuesday." Yeah, sorry, and then like he just
But they
wanted
set
like
it
him to
up.
kill him.
And how does Silver Surfer put up a better fight than Galactus?
Oh my god, that was
Because Galactus was hurt.
We talked about
Galactus also had
Galactus.
his big gun. Didn't
He actually
he
had
gun.
Galactus.
That was his entire like.
I love
plan.
that. How he's just like running on the ground with a gun.
Yeah.
I was like,
The
what about
world
this guy
eater?
that comes out of the fucking like cosmic clouds?
Yeah.
and does this.
All right,
Like-
serious question. Serious question. Of all of the characters in this story, how many were necessary?
0.
One,
Thanoses.
two, exactly
Both
2.
Thanoses?
Thanos,
Because both Thanos, no 3.
Well, I guess,
and
like,
death.
we have to
both
have-
Thanoses and death.
Well,
were
you have to
necessary.
have Ghost Rider because he
no, you
No,
don't.
you don't.
he well then one Thanos just doesn't show up. Or
No,
you-
one
All right,
Thanos,
Thanos just goes
brings
around.
the other
bring
Thanos.
the other Thanos.
Oh, that's
in,
right. I
'cause he
forgot.
needs to die.
When you
I
could
forgot.
do
Ghost Rider's like a carrier. Like he could have just been like, I actually killed everyone.
Thanos
and
and
There
death.
he
isn't
just, like-
this like jokey guy who's hanging around also.
And Ghost Rider is holding one of the stones that Thanos can just use.
Yeah. Frankly, it would be better if it were just the whole
It would
comic
have
would
been
be
a better-
better if
just-
it were just Thanos talking
Thanos,
to
yeah.
just Thanos alone
That could be
talking
good.
to death.
It would have been better.
Also, so like with Thanos, the big thing too is that like, so this is not a multiverse because the reason if you have the time stone and the time stone works in both places, it's not like he's bringing you to a different. He's bringing you literally to like what the future of Marvel will be.
Yeah.
So like this is saying like no, the future is 100% Thanos is going to kill everyone.
Yeah, that was the worst part at the start where it was like I knew from like the third page I was like this is bad. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
second he was like
It read
something
bad.
all of the every single hero on earth will tell you they are certain that Thanos is going to win.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that what you think we want to read?
I also think
That all the Avengers are just huge pussies? Like, oh guys, I think it's gonna go real well.
Also-
like every single one of those heroes you like, yeah, they're fucking losers.
On top of
They're
that-
all
Oh, go ahead. Oh, sorry.
Well,
I was going to say they go for like this goes for the Avengers and the Justice League. I think one thing that you can say for both of them is that they have a lot of things they got to pay attention to at once. And like Thanos can only eat up a part of that attention, but they also got Ultron, they got Galactus, right? Like the idea that like all they're afraid of is Thanos devalues the rest of the Marvel canon of villains.
and it's not
as
even
well.
that they're afraid of him necessarily, but they're certain that he's
winning.
gonna win.
Yeah, right.
You know how fucking lame
They're
that
so
is
I
for your
don't-
heroes?
It
The
also
bad
makes-
guys are so stupid in Marvel. I mean, is that the best you have? This
I will
purple-
also
Yeah, this
say
guy-
that
and then the guy with the hat.
the idea
grape.
of they're certain that Thanos is going to win devalues Thanos because he got the Infinity Gauntlet before and lost, and he
Yeah,
got
right.
like he's done a bunch of stuff to the Marvel heroes, and he's not laid a scratch on the entirety of Earth's heroes. So the fact that like the fact that he had to like just zoom out
just
and just
warming
be like. Oh fuck! I forgot to do the thing, and then he like wins the entire thing. Makes
I
Thanos
wasn't
look-
concentrating.
Oh wait, sorry.
My
the other-
evil scale was at a 7.
I was
Guys,
like-
I only had a 6 cruelty. So.
Yeah, he comes in and he like he jacks off, but not to completion. So he's like kind of like chub, but not full chub.
He's mad.
And then he's the mad Titan, and then he wins, and he's like, I should have done that to begin with.
He comes
I
back
should have
and-
just done more bungus blasts.
Bungus blast.
Also-
the fact that I didn't.
When Thanos loses in Marvel, it's usually a pretty serious defeat. At least when they beat Galactus, he has more dignity. Like, when they beat Galactus,
Yeah.
it's not because they've actually beat him. It's because they've put out enough of a fight that Galactus is like, well, this is more energy than I'd get from eating Earth.
Yeah.
I'll go
Yeah.
to a place that doesn't have as much fight.
I think I loved about Galactus. It was like they treated Galactus like he was like the stupid grunt of the army. Like he was like, I'm running up with my, and then just gets his fucking head blown off.
They treated him like Thunderbolt Ross.
For some reason, it feels like he feels like very like I don't know, like why did you give Galactus a gun?
And he was like, you hear that the thing he says when he meets Ghost Rider? He's like, Reed Richards, help me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, Thanos, that's
But what's his thing? He eats planets?
yeah.
dude.
Yeah, he's a vegetarian.
Why? So there are so many planets. Couldn't he just?
He should be getting.
Why does he got to do Earth? I
That's
mean,
this fucking thing. Well,
He should be.
Does he have to eat like human, like planets with life on them?
No,
No, I think it's about their
it's,
core.
It's about
It's
the
literally about the
cores.
core.
He should be. If anyone could beat Thanos in this infinity scale, it should be fucking him.
That's
he
the-
could be going around.
Thanos has the power cosmic
there are so
as
many planets.
so. Like I will say, and
but
correct
like,
me if
no
I'm
one can beat Thanos here, right?
Yeah.
He has the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, dear listeners. But Thanos, like, it doesn't really seem like he uses the Infinity Gauntlet a
no,
lot.
he just has blast.
He has Bungus Blast.
Well, he just
And
has the Galactus one-shot.
Yeah,
Bungus Blast, Power Stone.
Yeah, well, no, the Bungus Blast, he says, is like the power cosmic. And he's like, oh, you also have the power cosmic. And it's one of those things where I look at that and I'm like, okay, like, Galactus is the power cosmic. Like, the only reason Galactus
his
exists,
essence.
like, the only reason, like, power cosmic exists is because he survived into the next universe and he's able to, like, distribute that. And Thanos basically has that on, like, a fluke, where it was like, oh shit, he was, like, born at the wrong time, so he's able to, like, use Bungus Blast. But, like, that's, like, I don't know, a guy who can, like, use, like, a light bulb defeating, like a power plant. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, no, this guy's, like, the guy who's giving you that power. Like, what do
Yeah.
you mean?
He's shutting down the entire grid with his light bulb.
He's doing big light bulb Bungus Blast.
It's like if Ghost Rider Penance stared Thanos, and Thanos was like, "Well, I'm actually going to do it back to you." Right?
I could do
the fact that there's multiple panels of like Thanos like getting a penance stare, and then he's
enjoying
like,
it.
"Yeah, but like this gets me hard now." It's like so. It's so try hard in such a funny, fun way.
I kind of like it, but there is also that part of
I
me
like
that's-
it too.
Yeah, I
What's
just
the
think
point of that power if someone can enjoy it?
that's the. I mean, yeah, but like a lot of this comic.
Well, he always
breaks-
wins.
No, but like
Yeah.
it's
I do-
literally the idea that it's like this guy is the strongest, like the penance stare. You know how strong the penance stare is; it's super powerful.
Oh, yeah.
This guy doesn't even care
loves
a
it.
little.
Dude, all right, so
you know
this
the Hulk, how he's supposed to be super strong. He's chained in our basement, and we have butt sex with him occasionally.
Guys,
And he's just
the Hulk is immortal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, he-
You know,
I mean,
whatever
that's
power they
established.
want him to have.
Yeah,
You-
it's
I
unclear.
that
the
is
Hulk
that is
is
established.
The Hulk
Also,
is
why-
actually.
why?
Yeah, the Hulk is actually immortal, though.
If you read Immortal,
Radiation.
They
What
should
is he
rename
doing?
him the
Why
Immortal
is he in
Gimp.
chains in Thanos' basement?
because it's
You know.
fucking awesome. Because
The
he has
Immortal
to feed him.
Gimp.
You realize?
Yeah, right. You think Thanos is banging him?
I mean, you got to remember, he turned his cruelty up to like 20. You know,
You remember when he came back to planet
Yeah.
Earth and
It's
started
hard to
it-
get to 20.
Before he was like, okay, Hulk, you can just be on a different planet, and then he's like, no, I have to be a part of this planet, and like chain him in the basement until he wants to die. Like that's because my cruelty went up.
He
my
didn't
cruelty
want to
leveled up.
sodomize the Hulk, but he was like,
Sodomized.
"This is the only way I can get this cruelty stat up."
Death isn't going to approach me until my cruelty's at 20.
Does that mean
over
the
here,
Hulk
Bruce.
was digging it because usually the madder he gets, the stronger he gets?
Yeah,
Or
no, the Hulk's
was he like low key? Yeah, I'm okay with it.
yeah, no, the Silver Surfer had to calm him down. And that's like one of your friends coming in on like a weird kink sesh that you have.
No, no,
and you're
guys,
like,
it's fine.
What are you doing? And he's like, oh, I don't want.
He's like
oh,
embarrassed.
Yeah,
Like
he's-
post-nut clarity.
That's the post nut clarity is him like de-hulkifying. So he's like, we were friends, and he's like, oh fuck, your hero. Sorry. Oh yeah.
Thanos is like, "Here's your little collar, Bruce, for when you're not." Oh no, I don't. Where did you get this?
And then he like turns into the Hulk, and he's like, ugh, and then he puts it on.
should we rate it?
What's
I think
our
we
next?
should
I think
rate
so.
it.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to rate this, and then I'm going to recommend something better.
Yes,
Do it, please.
All right, yeah,
I like
rate
that.
it.
Mr. Six
Do
out
you
of
have a scale?
Oh, you know the
know,
scale.
I've heard tell of a scale going around the internet right now. It's all the rage.
A lot of people have been talking
A lot of
about
The fact
people
that you
have been
said the
talking
term
about-
all the rage makes me think you don't know anything.
it. It's
Whoa,
the bee's knees.
Buckle up, bucko.
Nothing I can
I'm giving this 2 out of 6 stars.
So 1 out of 3.
No.
Did I say 1 out of 3?
He
So
meant
out of the binary scale, that's a no.
4 out of
That's a
12.
zero.
What
That's what.
4 out of 12?
What I'm going to recommend instead of this for the listeners, I've been finishing up Robin Hobb's Live Ship Trader trilogy.
This is
Go
a
read
comic
that.
book.
Is that a
Go read
book?
that instead.
Is that like a real book
It's a real book
without pictures?
and it's real good.
All right.
I recommend
check
it.
I get that.
Thank you.
I get we should recommend stuff. Should we? We can just recommend, like, you should read Dostoevsky.
Readers.
No, yeah, you should.
If that's what you want to recommend, then yes.
Well, when it's your turn to recommend,
you can only recommend.
All right,
not-
Yeah, it's okay.
not
We'll
lame
just,
stuff.
we'll just cut the audio when you recommend Dostoevsky, Connor.
All right.
I might. So I will rate it. I don't really. My rating. I'm just gonna say what I fucking think, and everybody. I'm gonna
What?
talk
Oh,
for as
shit.
long as I want.
You do have a mic. It's unfortunate.
I will rate this for as strong as year one is. This is that week, because for all of the ways that year one is strong, is like Bruce Wayne is a guy, and I know what it's like to be a guy.
Do I have?
It's like he gets shot. I'm like, well, I've stubbed my toe, and I bet getting shot hurts a lot more. I'm with you, Bruce, but this is like, whoa, what if he has the Searcher Sword? It's a series of, it's like a series of metaphors building instead of on top of reality being built on top of other metaphors.
I give
Those
it a
define
metaphor.
those are
themselves.
called pataphors.
Son of a bitch. They're a series of metaphors.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's like seeing every piece of power defined in relationship to another piece of power I don't understand is so goddamn tiring.
I give it a pat of 4 out of 5.
All right, I'm done. You said what better than I could have said. Pat a 4 out of 5.
Well, now it's Connor. Wait, because he's floating in the void right there.
It's up to me.
Oh,
So
yeah.
my ranking scale, it's going to be based off of, like, Persian or Persian-inspired empires in the ancient world.
What?
I love that.
Circa when?
Leading from, like
How many
the
nightclubs
OG
is this?
Achaemenid Empire all the way up through the Arab
Okay.
Caliphate. I'd have to give this one an Umayyad Caliphate. The Persian Empire has been conquered, and a lot of their culture is being, like, ignored, kind of, but they're, like, scheming in the background, like, they want to make a comeback. There's better stuff out there. There's better iterations of the Persian Empire. Umayyads, they're not really Persian, but they, like, own the space Persia's in, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm giving
I think
this
we
one.
know, Connor.
I have no idea.
Connor,
That's great.
What you've just said ripped through all of the haze of my mind with a fucking beam of such clarity that I might switch to this rating system.
I love
Yeah, everybody knows the story of the Umayyads, right?
Connor, that's
In other words, well, I'm not done yet, guys. Also, it's a 4 out of 10. Also, I would say, if you're looking for something better to read, Revelations in the Bible, guys. That's where I'm
totally not wrong either. Revelations is way cooler.
Isn't there like a
Connor,
6-headed
There aren't
dragon
any
or
dragons.
something?
There's
Yeah,
a-
7-headed.
It's
17.
a little similar because it also seems like it was written by like a guy who didn't think about like writing the Bible until he was dictating it.
Do you think if he knew about Thanos' Bungus Blast, he
Oh
would have?
fuck! He would have been
That
like,
would be.
all
that
right,
would
so
be
there's
in
a
the
guy,
Bible.
Yeah.
a beast rising out of the sea with 7 heads, and then
And 6 Infinity Stones.
and 6.
And a guy with a purple wrinkly chin is riding it.
My
Wait,
turn?
hold on. Wait,
Oh,
you don't
it's
look
like-
the part, honestly.
One
Well,
sec.
we're gonna go.
We-
Jack, why don't you go ahead with your rating?
Well, so at least in my opinion, my rating system is one in which you can rate on a negative scale in terms of like, so when you have like a 0, that is truly no enjoyment. But when you rate on the negative scale, you get something that has like enjoyment because it is so bad. So I'm
Sure,
going to rate this
yeah.
a -3 out of 6
That's
because
that's a fun
right
scale.
now it is something where I got a lot of enjoyment because it was not something that like actually has literary value. But you know what does have literary value?
Anyone familiar with Nick Land?
Yeah,
No.
he is one of the fourth. He's the 4th smartest man.
Yeah,
right.
It's Reed Richards and then a few other blokes, and then
Nick Land.
and then Nick Land. Okay, I think the best place to understand Cosmic Ghost Rider is a philosopher like Nick Land. So Nick Land is what's called the godfather of accelerationism. He's a neo-reactionary philosopher known for the concepts of hyper-racism. So, so
racism wasn't enough.
yeah. So that's
You guys have no idea.
that's what he's known for now. But in the origins, early Nick Land's work is very, very different. At the beginning of Nick Land's career, he writes an essay called Kant, Capital, and the Abolition of Incests, the origins of modernity.
How many K?
Fuck black people.
Is it KKKANT?
Now,
Is this a pro-incest essay?
it's unclear. It's all right. It's not anti-incest,
Seems to be the only defensible
All right.
position around incest
but
to have.
the argument that he's making,
It's a biblical argument. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
the argument that he's making in this essay is basically that socialist revolutionaries didn't revolution hard enough to destroy capitalism, and that what we need is third world feminism to destroy capitalism. And he comes with the quote at the end.
Which side is this guy on?
That's what this is about. He ends with this quote: "The state apparatus of an advanced industrial society can certainly not be defeated without a willingness to escalate the cycle of violence without limit." So his early argument is basically revolution, harder. And then at a certain point in his career, he's like, well, maybe I'm actually a racist, terrible person. So that's kind of like what happens with Frank Castle here. He's like, look, I got vengeance on the mind. That's all I got. I want vengeance on Thanos. And then he's around and he just goes crazy for so many years that eventually he meets up with Thanos and he's like, fuck it, dude. I guess we're on the same team now.
Got my money on my mind now.
But
Eventually, you will destroy yourself. So, I just have to watch until the next cycle, basically.
yeah, and interestingly enough,
There's no black people around here, right, Thanos?
And interestingly enough, in the same way with Frank Castle, you can see, in Frank Castle's early search for vengeance, you can see that same desire for acceleration and destruction in Nick Land's early works. It's pointed in the direction of trying to take down capitalism. And for Frank Castle, it's that capitalism for Frank Castle is Thanos. And eventually he ends up working for capitalism. Because guess what?
Frank capitalism.
Frank capitalism. Thank you.
There's no ethical consumption under Thanos.
Yeah. So, in case you're wondering, Nick Land, don't read him. He's the favorite philosopher of Peter Thiel and all these guys. Yeah.
I also like who would read what you just said and then think well, I should give this guy a read.
Yeah, I like the idea.
That wasn't clear.
I like the idea that there is power scaling racism, though, where he's
my God.
infinite racist.
So-
He's got the racism galactic.
I thought Strom Thurmond was bad.
racism black.
Let me explain, because
he has a high elo in competitive racism.
Oh, he's diamond.
He's diamond right.
let me be clear by what he means by hyper-racism.
Just insane. It seems like that's whoever came up with that title should have written the Fast and Furious movies.
So he proposes an acceleration of the explicitly superior and already quote-unquote genetically self-filtering elite through a system of assortative mating that would offer a class-structured mechanism for population deremption on a vector towards neo-speciation. So his point is we're racist, but we need to use technology to be more racist, and then eventually we'll send the aristocracy out into space, and we'll create a legitimate new race
Holy
of
shit.
rulers.
That's the Elon
Empire
Musk
of
shit.
Man.
Yeah, unironically,
Is
these
this guy the Emperor of Man?
Well,
No.
I doubt he
no.
makes demons burst into flames when they enter into his aura.
Demons?
Oh shit!
Another thing-
Wyatt, did Nick Land kill all the chaos demons?
maybe. Another thing, this guy does a lot of amphetamines.
Hold on.
No, I thought he was cogent through all of these massive.
You're telling me the guy who didn't write an anti-incest essay was doing amphetamines?
who wrote a? I'm not sure about incest, but I'm not that. I can't really pass judgment there. Can I?
Who's not sure about incest?
All right. frankly,
in the defense of incest, guys, there's a very prominent ethical argument concerning incest and why it's wrong. But I don't think this guy's tapping onto the famous argument.
I'm
there.
less concerned about him, more concerned about you.
Yeah, how do you know so much about incest, Connor?
there's an ethical
Listen, you guys are playing casual incest.
So-
okay? I've been in the ranks of grind.
You're a
for
hyper
Connor's
incest
gold
fan.
incest.
Top 500.
I'm hyper incest.
so in any case,
Grandmaster incest.
be careful what you read, and you know, and I think that's the main argument here. If you read Cosmic Ghost Rider,
Main argument here.
Don't, Siri, do not look at that.
if you read Cosmic Ghost Rider, you'll probably hate it. If you read too much philosophy, you'll get really racist.
What is that?
That's not my main take, but I thought
Do we need to have a talk, Wyatt? Mr.
I thought,
Blazer?
I thought it would be a good point to make. I thought it would be fair for me to rank
And balance.
Cosmic Ghost Rider with a philosopher who I absolutely hate.
That's pretty good. That's
All right, Pam Anderson.
Pam Anderson here. I have changed my rating this week from binary to Grecian Titans in maintaining the theme of this Titan douchebag warrior. So one of my least favorite Titans, because I didn't enjoy reading this very well, is Prometheus.
He gave us fire, didn't
He's
he?
like
Well
the goat
paid
Titan.
for giving fire to humanity, which was a huge fucking mistake.
Yeah.
You sound like one of the old gods.
We got Kronos over here.
No, I'm Cthulhu.
Kronos Anderson.
Brought to you by Pepsi.
The fire, which should not be used to heat a delicious cold Pepsi.
No one should have given the boost to humans ever.
I completely. It's like if we gave consciousness to fire ants.
And you're like, how
What could go wrong? These
And they
guys,
they
they're
destroyed
just
us.
fun with the fire, right?
They're like having fun with the fire ants. They're everywhere now, and then we all die.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
You're like, damn.
Yeah, it would be cool for the fire ants.
But then we could become like space marines and
No.
fight them.
We die. There are no titans around. It's just us.
I don't know.
It's just us and giant intelligent fire ants.
I mean,
It-
he's
you,
my
me-
least favorite Titan.
You, me, and Nick.
And
Lane,
that's
we
what
could
you're
go up into
rating.
space.
So you're rating this a Prometheus out of Titan.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair rating.
That's
bad.
a fair rating.
You should rate that. I also, in a similar way, will rate this on a scale of the Alien movies and also give it a Prometheus.
Well, what's funny is Prometheus is better than Alien 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Yeah,
like
right,
a,
yeah.
Almost
when
every
it's-
movie is better than Alien.
like a
3.
two out of
not a high
7.
bar. Like Prometheus, at least
Wait, no. 2 being the 1 being the worst.
it's also better than Alien Romulus, which is like, but
100 out of 1,000.
like Prometheus, at least somewhat iconic, right? Like it's at least
Yeah, they
somewhat.
brought the
like
big white guys walking around.
Prometheus, you'll at least see YouTube shorts about it, like this comic.
Prometheus
it
has
was
a
so
good
dumb.
performance.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
true.
kind of like it.
I like the
No.
part where she gets
was
like
bad.
pregnant and then she gets the baby cut out.
Yeah.
It was a
And
bad movie.
when they
better
have
than Alien 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alien 3.
It's better than
I like
Alien
the
vs.
film-
Predator.
Dude, Where's My Car was a better movie.
That's
Wait, you?
That's one of the best movies of all
Alien
time.
so far
That's why.
has spawned one of the greatest pieces of like cultural commentary ever.
The
Dude,
found his
where's my
car.
comic?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
cultural commentary, source criticism, sort of like a university of pataphysics type thing, right?
That's what I've
it's
been
creating
saying
a
for
whole
years.
new cultural trends that we can, much like the work of.
All right, you've
Dostoevsky.
given your reading. You've given your rating.
Yeah, you're right.
I want to comment on Gray again. I think Prometheus is a great
Who's
one
Gray?
to use because this is.
That's
Oh,
Pamela.
yeah.
That's Pamela Anderson.
Yeah, brought to you by PepsiCo.
Sorry, PepsiCo. PepsiCo brought up a
Barbarian.
great point. Pamela Anderson did. This is a comic about glazing Thanos. There's a lot of Prometheus glazers out there in the world. And if you're not one of them, you're not going to like them very much.
Yeah,
so in the same way, if you're not a Thanos glazer, you're not going to like this comic.
Thing is, I feel like whoever came up, just on a final note, whoever came up with the design for Thanos should be shot.
Terrible.
He's just like
Ball
a
sack
fucking
man?
He looks like a grape that's on the way to being a raisin who's kind of
I
fat.
would have called him Prune Door.
Right? He looks like
Prune Door
and he
is a
looks
better
way
name.
too much like a scroll, which I can't fucking stand. The scrolls
The scroll.
are also purple people with weird chins.
No, they're
They're
green.
green.
Whatever. They can be purple.
They're green. No, they can't.
You're just thinking
Wait,
of
who
the
are the shapeshifters?
You're just thinking of this. Those are the.
The shapeshifters are the scroll.
Yeah,
but
they're
they can
the-
only.
they couldn't be purple.
Well, you're no.
They are green.
They're
Look up Super Scroll
The
and
o-
tell me that he's
the only
not
reason-
All right, I'm thinking of a purple version.
I'm thinking of something that's not real.
The only reason you think that they're purple is because you're thinking of the Super Scroll card in Marvel Snap, which is kind of purpley.
Oh my God, you are.
That could be right.
Snap brain over here.
It's all right. I also
I get-
thought they were purple.
I get
because of the
ongoings
card.
are really good right now, but
They
he's just
really
wearing a purple suit.
Oh yeah, that is right.
ongoing-
Oh no.
So
on that note.
Going that note, tell us what your rating is in the comments.
Sneak
Oh,
along
and then-
next week with us.
We're going to be reading Chainsaw Man, the Reze arc, which is chapter 39 through 52.
Yes.
Comment, likes, YouTube channel.
Subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Subscribe.
Talk to us what you thought about Cosmic Ghost Rider. Did you think he rocked? Did you
Read
think
Elon Musk with us.
Yeah,
If you're feeling lonely-
Elon Musk talk with
You want to be on the podcast and have money to fly out? Come
Yeah.
be on,
Honestly,
you want to be on
yeah,
the podcast?
dude, if you comment down, you're like, I've got money to fly out. We'll tell you where this is.
We've
Yeah.
got a budget.
Well, and Gavin Newsom started
actually-
a podcast.
That's true.
not doing very well.
Also,
so
who's your guy? Our great philosopher,
Nick Land.
Nick Land. If
Nick
you're watching,
Is he
No,
alive?
if Nick Land. Okay, I'd say Nick Land, Robert Downey Jr. Then we finally get to Chef Man.
I could not have a conversation with Nick Land. I
all right,
feel
well,
like
Nick
I'd
Land.
love-
all right,
I'll talk to him.
it's okay. This
Brought
could
to
be
you by
like
Pepsi.
this
Brought
could
to
be
you by
brought to you
Pepsi.
brought to you by
Land.
and MGM. Bet MGM. Remember,
BetMGM will
Enter our
sponsor
code,
Nick Land.
And Frito-Lay. Frito-Lay.
Throw the house address at the bottom. Come
Yeah.
visit.
No,
Come
Come
visit.
visit. Come visit. Blink, blink.